So, you may have seen some videos of people online who are already doing all of the garden things, and that might make you feel a little bit behind. It can be very confusing, especially as a new gardener, trying to figure out what you are supposed to be doing in December as far as gardening goes. Of course, I'm going to give you a little hint. It's probably not much, depending on where you live, but it does really depend on where you live. So I'm going to give you a few tips about that. I think that this will be helpful for new and intermediate gardeners. If you've been doing this a long time, this is probably stuff that you've heard a million times over. But for me, I needed some gentle reminders this year, and a lot of you probably do too. So, if you are new here, I am Brittany of thehomesteadchallenge.com. I am trying to do all the homesteady things that I want to do here on my quarter acre in the city in Ohio and getting rid of the rest of the stuff that I just don't want to do. So, if you want to come join along my journey, please subscribe here or follow along on the podcast or, as always, on the blog, thehomesteadchallenge.com. So, seriously, like I'm seeing all of these people online seed starting. If you live like above probably 7A or above garden zone, you probably don't need to be starting anything in December. Some flower farmers might be starting big scale operations. I'm talking about your everyday average backyard gardener here. But I'm going to let you know in a minute exactly how you can find out when you're supposed to be starting all of the things and let you know how I keep track of that. So here where I live, I'm a 6B, even though I'm completely surrounded by a 6As. But just because I'm along a river, it makes it so I'm a 6B. I don't know why, but that's just how it goes. So you need to figure out your garden zone. If you do nothing else in December, just figure this out. You may already know your garden zone, but I feel like it varies very widely on when you actually start your stuff. So you really need to zoom in to your actual zip code. So what you're going to do, you are going to go to the Old Farmer's Almanac. You can search your last frost dates. That's going to be your date in the spring when it finally stops being frosty. Last frost date. And that will just come up. It's almanac.com/gardening/frost dates. I will have it linked below wherever you are listening. But you need to put in your zip code there and figure out your date. Mine is May 6th. Most people, except for my Canadian listeners, probably have a date that is earlier than that. And that's fine. I live pretty north, but I have listeners from all over the place. So you need to figure out this for you. Then the best calculator that I have found online is on johnnyselectedseeds.com. It is on their johnnyseeds.com/growers library/seed planting schedule. Just go to their website. You can search seed starting date calculator. I will also have that linked for you below. The reason I really like this one is because it has the most robust list that I've seen on the internet of things that I actually like to plant. And it gives you the exact date window of when you need to start these things inside. There's also these cool, I should have had one. I have it. There's a slider that you can buy if you like to have something physical. I can link one of those below as well. It gets a little bit confusing though. I love that you just put your date in here. So I put in my May 6th that I got from the other calculator, and it tells me every single thing that I need to do to plant when I need to. Like I don't have to calculate. A lot of the calculators online also say like start 6 weeks before your last date, 8 weeks before your last date. Then you have to calculate it all. And I don't want to do that. And you probably don't either. This one has almost everything that you would need. I'm sure there are outliers, as always. So anyway, I scanned through mine and I found that there was not a single date in December. You may find some dates in December. So then you can add that to your list of what you need to do in December. But that's just probably going to be for most of people, if you're listening in the US, most likely just your very cold weather crops you're starting now. You might be starting onions and leeks. You may be starting, let's see, like you could probably do like cabbages and maybe kale. I don't know, whatever it tells you. I'm not an expert on this. Do what it tells you. I really trust these sources. I think that they are great, and it can really kind of ease your mind and make things less stressful. So, if you don't find that you have anything in December and you are so overwhelmed with the holiday that you're like, okay, I'm done, then you can be done there. That's all you need to do for your garden right now, if that's the case. If you feel like you have a little bit of capacity and a little bit of time to spend and you love dreaming about your garden, then you can go ahead and plan what you want to plant in your garden. If you know a general idea, I don't know ever exactly what I'm going to plant, and I always love a mixture of planning and also kind of going with the flow. So if I find I have an extra spot, I love just throwing some seeds around and direct sowing outside. Because I always have too many seeds. That's definitely a problem that we have over here, and you probably do too. But I love planning what I need and then kind of just like going with the flow with the rest, seeing some pretty annuals at the garden center. Like that also brings me a lot of joy. So I like a mix. And I think that it's important to always keep going with what brings you joy. If hardcore planning makes you not enjoy your garden, then don't. Then don't do it. But if your goals are to feed your family in any specific way, calculating what you need can be important. So all I do at this time of year is figure out what I want to grow, and then I make sure I have the seeds, so I inventory what I have and I order what I don't have. Because come spring, I do find that things start to sell out unless you like to buy your seeds in the garden center, in which case I really do find that I can find pretty much everything that I need in the garden center. Now, when it comes to certain like weird herbs or certain varieties, or if you want something that's a little bit out of the norm, you're going to want to order that. Um, Otherwise, truly, you're not super behind. I've never had bad luck finding like general common vegetables in any garden center, even the big box stores. So, whatever you want to do with seeds, that is completely up to you. But you may be wanting to purchase some of those now if your start dates are heavy on the December and January, if you don't already have what you need. So, I go through the dates and I look at the couple months, and I like to kind of batch things together. So, like, if I see that a bunch of stuff is all around the same date, I'll probably start it all on the same day, just to make things easier. Because if I'm getting all the dirt out, I am going to be doing this in my dining room this year. I tried in my basement last year, and I think it was just too cold and too dark. So, we're moving it to the dining room this year, and eventually I will try to show you guys my whole seed starting operation. I'm not that great at seed starting indoors, but I'm hoping that this will be my year because it'll be much warmer up here. I tried it on my outdoor porch once. Horrible decision. Basement, still too cold. I keep my house pretty cold too, so I do have heating mats. I thought the heating mats would be enough in the basement last year, but I don't think they were. And last year I did the Back to Roots seed starting mix from Target, and it was horrible. I bought it because it said organic. Horrible. It was so hydrophobic, I could not keep it wet. I tried all of the tricks to like fix hydrophobic soil. Nothing would help. I normally go for a mixture of like bougie soil, like Happy Frog, or what are the other brands? I cannot even remember. I have a bougie garden center near me, so if you know the type, you know the type. But then I also, last year, I didn't buy any bougie kind. I just bought all of the organic stuff from Lowe's. So whatever you do there is fine. For my seed starting this year, though, I am going bougie because I do not want these to fail. Last year, I think I had like 3 starts that survived out of like trays and trays. It was so bad. So bad. So make sure you have good soil. I'm not even bothering with seed starting mix this year. I'm going straight for the potting soil. I will let you know how that goes. But I'm going for Happy Frog potting soil. I don't need near as much. It's not like I'm filling a whole garden with it. So that's why I feel okay about spending the money now on this. And hopefully that will save me money. I'm trying to do a lot more flowers this year because I find my garden budget goes out the window for flowers because those actually tend to be more expensive than even buying vegetable starts. So that's what I'm doing this year. I will do a couple vegetables, of course, but I have a great garden center near me that sells peppers and tomatoes starts for $1. And I can't even justify doing my own because that's cheaper, and I know that those will be successful because I've had great luck with them in the past. So back around. I'm going to go through, I'm going to group my dates by month, probably like 2 dates every month, like January, February, March, April, because I'm still starting things inside in April here. You might not be though. You might be going full on outdoors in April. And I am going to put those dates right into my Google Calendar as tasks. So I'm going to just put it as a task and put exactly what needs started that day. And that is pretty much all I'm going to be doing for December. Planning what I need to plant and then telling myself when I need to start it. And it kind of brain dumps it and gets it off of my to-do list completely when I just have it in the calendar. I usually try to aim for the earlier date of when it says to start inside because I often can't actually get to it that day. I procrastinate. I might not have all the supplies I need yet. So I just put it in for the earlier date. And then when I get to it, I get to it. And it tends to work out very well for me that way. It can just be so confusing right now following people online. And I have no qualms with following people online right now. I am getting so inspired by Roots and Refuge, one of my favorite YouTube channels, as well as the Yellow Door Urban Homestead. Is that what her channel is? Yellow Door. I love her. She's like so relaxing to listen to. She's already starting indoors. I just watched some of the videos. She lives much more south than I do, so that's okay. But hers don't stress me out. It just inspires me because she has a small backyard garden just like I do. Definitely follow along if you're looking for backyard gardening content. But it just gets really confusing, especially for new gardeners, because you may live where I live and think that you're supposed to be doing this stuff already. Or I actually used to live in Alabama, and I was used to the Ohio gardening where we don't even start most things until May. And I never started seeds before. So I was so confused when I was like waiting until May to start things, and then they would just like fry automatically. I couldn't keep anything alive. I was very confused. And what I learned when I lived in southern Alabama is that you do need to start in December. So you need to make sure, no matter what, that you go ahead and figure out your zone and figure out when you need to start things. Even if you're a seasoned gardener, I don't remember the dates that I need to start everything every year. So adding these in right now is very, very helpful. Something else that you can do right now, if you would like to, is really reflect on last year. What grew well? What didn't? Do you know why it didn't? Do you need to research why it didn't grow well? Do you have anything that went really, really well? Did you preserve too much of something, not enough of something else? Really take tally on those things right now. Know what seeds you need to get and know what research you need to do. Because you may not need to do it yet, but it will come upon us pretty quickly here come January. And it's always good to have a little bit of a head start, even if it's not too far ahead. Decide your garden priorities for the year. Do you have any projects that you want to do? Is your priority this year to grow flowers? Are you going to be starting a farm stand? Hint, I am actually going to be starting a very, very small herbal farm stand where I'm going to sell apothecary goods and hopefully some cut flowers as well. Very small, very low key. I'm going to do what I can when I want to and not like stress about it. It's just going to be fun and cute and little outside the front of my house. Very excited about that. So I will definitely include you guys in that journey this year as I'm opening a farm stand for the first time. Even though it's a very small one. That's okay. And definitely make sure that you're inventorying what you have. If you're like me, you overbuy on your seeds. I have way more seeds than I could ever need or use, but I do have no qualms about using expired seeds. It's really not that big of a deal as long as they're not too old and you know they've been stored pretty well. They might just have a little bit less of a germination rate, so I usually just plant a couple extra if I know that they're older seeds. And it's not that serious, really. So let's kind of say what you do not need to be doing in December. If you live in zones 6 or under, you do not need to be starting seeds right now. You do not need to be buying every single seed that you see people buying online because they're planting all the unique varieties when you know that your family won't use them. I'm looking at myself here about all the unique tomato varieties. I have planted unique ones in the past. We don't really eat them. I just make them into sauce. And so it's fun to have some pretty ones, but getting my Romas is actually great for me. Roma's and San Marzanos, they both grow the same for me, and great in sauce, great producers, easy to grow. I have very good luck with them not being diseased. Some of the special ones I find get diseased a little bit easier. So I'm only growing one special variety this year, and that's because it's supposed to go on a patio in a pot. So I thought that would be cute. But other than that, I'm growing some very standard varieties, and that is okay. I am, however, picking up a couple unique varieties of flowers and herbs, but not too many. I'm trying to really rein it in this year and just use up what I have, but I will not even be using up what I have because let's be honest, I have too many. I will definitely be giving away some seeds as well at this farm stand. So, your to do list: figure out your zone, your last frost date, figure out exactly when you need to plant everything, and put it in your Google Calendar. Reflect on last season, choose your goals, inventory what you need to buy or might need to buy here coming up. Maybe you'll get a little cash for Christmas. That would be lucky. And then you can order your seeds if you haven't already. And then you can rest because the most important part about the December garden is a time of rest for the garden. There's stuff going on under the soil. Just like your body needs rest, the garden needs rest as well. And that's equally beneficial for the garden. You don't need to be out there doing stuff all year long. You are allowed to move slower than people on the internet, even if you are in a southern area and you're supposed to be seed starting now. If you haven't gotten to it yet, you're really not too far behind. It will be okay. You'll still get plenty of harvest, and there's plenty of stuff that you can still grow. And you can always direct sow a lot easier in the South as well. So if you don't get it started, no big deal. I promise. I promise you, you'll be able to do it. And then if anybody wants to be a little bit more of an overachiever, I do have an Etsy shop, by the way. I have a great garden planner over there, as well as a seed organizing binder inserts. So if you have your binder, but you want like pages that kind of separate things and in the little pockets, so you know what's going on as you flip through, I have some binder inserts there as well. So I will be linking those. If you do can't find the links or anything, you can search the Homestead Challenge on Etsy. You'll find my shop. I got a couple things on there, and I'm going to be adding a lot more soon. So I'm excited about that, and I hope that you are too. I hope you are excited about the garden season ahead, but I don't want it to add to any of your holiday stress because truly, you don't need to worry about it too much right now. Thank you so much for listening, friends. Sorry, I feel like I'm out of breath today. Maybe it's too many coffees already early this morning, but I'm so glad that you're here. Please, if you are doing any seed starting, come share photos online. I love to see them in our Facebook community. Just search the Homestead Challenge and the community will pop up, ask to join. I would love to accept you into there, and please, please, please share photos there. I love to see them. Until next time, friends, thanks so much for being here.